A particle is projected with initial velocity u cos A and u sin A from a point O on the horizontal plane. Show that the range is given by this here. Okay, no bother. We have a projectile, and it goes back down again, like so. Bam, 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 and then it hits over here. All right. We're going to call it angle A, alpha for the initial speed, u here, and then that will make this u sine alpha, and this one here u cos alpha. Cool with that? U sine alpha and u cos alpha. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our four equations. We're going to make phi x equals u cos alpha. We're going to do phi y equals ut sine alpha minus gt. Then going to have sx equals ut cos alpha. And then sy equals u. Wait. Made a mistake. Anyone seen a mistake? Huh? Yeah, no ut there. Believe it or not, when I do these questions, I'm most likely to make a mistake at the very beginning. I always double and triple check it. I make just as many mistakes as everybody else, but when I'm focused, I tend to spot them. So I'll make a mistake, I'll double check, triple check, and I'll spot something. I'll fix it then and there. You don't want to be fixing it later on. So at this point in time, always take the extra 30 seconds, minute, double check, triple check. If you make a mistake here, it's going to cost you big time down the road, okay? And you won't be able to find a mistake when you're too far in. So best to spend the extra time now, just making sure everything's the way it's meant to be. Okay, it's always at the beginning. And then as a corrector, you're going, all right, he's already gone. So how many attempt marks can I give you, basically, okay? Now, we kill with that. Now, range. What do we know about range? When you hit the ground, what happens? Anybody? What's the combo? Sy equals 0. Find the time of flight and put the time of flight into what formula? The Sx formula. You want the distance from here to here, which is an Sx distance. So that's your combination right there. Technically, we only need two formulas. We only need the Sx and the Sy to make this question work. Okay. So let's begin. Let's do Sy equals 0. So when Sy equals 0, we have an equals 0 here. Move the gt squared out the other side, so we're going to get a ut sine alpha equals half gt squared. Do you know when you cross off the t values? Do you know what value you're wiping off there? You're wiping off the t equals 0 value. Because if you start at level ground, t equals 0 as well. So you're wiping off that value, that's gone. And then you're going to do the time of flight, it's the only thing remaining. So then you're going to say, bring up the 2, and you get 2u sine alpha over g. You feel with that? Where do I put that then? Where does it go into? It has to go into Sx. So Sx equals u by t, which is 2u sine alpha over g. Times cos alpha. Give me 2u squared sine alpha cos alpha all over g. Go with that? Now, if the particle passes through 2 points whose displacements in meters are from 0 are 3i plus 1j and 1i plus 3j, show that the range is 13 over 4 meters and that tan alpha is equal to 13 over 3. Okay, very interesting. So, I'm just going to get rid of part 1 there because it's saved up here, so I don't actually need it. I can just reread the question and get the answer. If you couldn't do part 1, is there a chance you could still do part 2? There is, yeah, so just be aware of that sometimes. Sometimes you might have one part of the question you can't do, but then you can always do other parts. Another example is if you're really jammed at one part, just make a partial attempt and write down any answer that suits you, and then use that answer in, let's say, parts 3 and 4, because you might have the correct technique for 3 and 4 using the answer from part 2. You get what I'm saying? Just because you can't get an answer in part 2 doesn't mean you can't use your attempt from part 2. Okay? Or even if you can't attempt it, just write down a token answer and use that. Okay? You can still pick up lots of marks. Now, here we go. At the same time, would you agree that at the same time Sx equals 3, Sy equals 1? Would everyone agree that occurs at the same time? Yeah. And what else happens at the same time? When Sx equals 1, Sy equals 3. There's no choice which one to start with. So that happens at T1. This one happens at T2. I'm just going to start off with the red one, the first one. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with this is equal to 3. Alrighty. So what's the time it takes? What's T1 then? If ut cos alpha equals 3, what's T1? So it's ut1 cos alpha equals 3. This means T1 equals 3 over u cos alpha. We kill it that. Alright. I'm going to throw that into the SY equation. So let's do the SY equation now. So for SY, what we're going to do is now, next thing, I'm going to plug that into SY. So I'm going to get u times 3 over u cos alpha sine alpha over a half g. Now t squared is going to be 9 over u squared cos squared alpha equals 0. Alright, what's the problem with the g at the moment? We see a problem with having the g there. No other g's to cancel off with, is there? So at this point in time, I'd make the call to turn that into 4.9. Right, I'm more than likely going to have to deal with maybe a minus b formula, I don't know yet. So that's 4.9. Half g is 4.9. Okay. Now, let's do this. The u's cancel. And what's left over? What's a 3? 3 tan alpha, yeah. What's 4.9 times 9? 441 over 10. No better. 441 over 10. And then I have u squared on the bottom. What's 1 plus cos squared alpha? Now, what's the problem with this equation? Similar problem to what I had last week. Anybody care to tell me? Huh? Yeah. I'm not really able to get rid of that right now. So it's presenting a challenge for me. It's the u squared is presenting a challenge for me, okay? So I would now start tapping into the second two numbers as well. And I'm taking some form of simultaneous equation or substitution will help me get rid of that u squared. Okay? So I've only used half my data. Now I got to use the other half. Okay? So I'm just going to park this here for a minute. I actually don't know which way will work out easier, but we'll just park it there for a minute and I'll go again. Okay, this time it's the point 3, 1. Alright, great. This time I'm using 1, 3. So it's going to be Sx equals 1, U T2 cos alpha over 3. And this means, yes? Oh, sorry, my fault. The Sy is 1. Thank you very much. Sorry guys, the Sy wasn't 0, it was 1. Because when Sx equals 3, Sy equals 1. Okay. T2 equals 3 over U cos alpha. Is that okay with you guys? 3 over U cos alpha. Because you bring the U cos alpha underneath. I'm now going to insert that, yes? Oh, it is, yeah. Oh, God. Thank you. Sx is 1 for the blue data. So it's 1 over U cos alpha. Thank you, Neil. Now, we're going to do Sy next. And Sy equals 3. So make sure I put in the equals 3 part, okay? Sy is ut sine alpha. So u by t sine alpha minus a half g. In here is going to be t squared. And that equals 3. Okay? And then we're going to put in our time here. So it's going to be 1 over u cos alpha. And over here it's going to be 1 over u squared cos squared alpha. And we're sort of going to end up with a similar field to what we had already. It's going to be, it's going to be tan alpha. And then we're going to change the half g into 4.9 because no use for g at the moment. So we're going to get 4.9 is 49 over 10, so it's going to be minus 49 over 10, 1 over u squared alpha. So over u squared alpha equals 3. Everybody cool with that? Now, what are your options? I was thinking if we isolate 10 u squared cos squared alpha, we just isolate that part in both of them, we can just put them equal to each other, and I think it will work out quite nicely. Okay? Here's what I'm suggesting we do. In both of them, I'm looking to isolate this part here and this part here. Okay? And then I can trade them both for each other. Put them equal to each other and just get rid of the 10 u squared cos squared alpha. Just gone outright. Okay, so let's try that out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move that 49 u cos squared alpha over one side. I'm going to do the same thing twice. 49, 10 u squared cos squared alpha. I moved it to the right. Then I'm going to move the 3 over the other side. So just keep a really close eye on this. Everybody happy so far? Divide the left by 49. So bring that 49 underneath. And what have I successfully done there now? Successfully traded that for tan alpha minus 3 all over 49. Does that make sense? Now, tan alpha minus 3 over 49. Let's go back up to the original. What can I trade? This blue amount. All right. Oh, excellent. It's already in fraction form, isn't it? So I can trade this entire part here. So what can I trade all of that for? What did I say it was a second ago? So we are trading. All right. I'm trading all of that for tan alpha minus 3 over 49. All right, this should be easy. 3 tan alpha minus 441. And then we said that that is tan alpha minus 3 over 49. Does anybody know what 441 divided by 49 is? And that all equals, what did we say from the first one? Yes, y value is 1. That equals 1. Okay. 441 over 49, anybody? What? Just 9. Excellent. Why is it negative? Oh, it doesn't matter. 3 tan alpha minus 9 over tan alpha minus 3 equals 1. 3 tan alpha minus 9 tan alpha plus 27, and thank God that's a plus, otherwise we're in trouble. 3 tan alpha take away 9 tan alpha is minus 6 tan alpha, and that 6 tan alpha equals 1 take away 27, which is minus 26. Multiply both sides by negative and then divide by the 6, so tan alpha equals 26 over 6. And what does the question want from me? Show that tan alpha is 13 over 3. Thank you very much. Okay. The hardest part of the question is realizing how to get rid of the u squared cos squared alpha. Simply doesn't belong. Too many variables in one equation. There's about 10 different ways of doing that. You just got to find your own way and see what happens. Yeah. Do I? Yes, I do indeed. The range. Well, that's going to be... Now, the range is an issue because I still haven't found out the u value, have I? So, we're going to have to find out the u value really quickly. Alright, so that's not so bad. I'm just going to use this here. So this equation here, what does it say tan alpha is again? Tan alpha is 13 over 3. Would somebody be so nice as to put all of this into the calculator for me? 13 over 3. Take away 3 divided by 49. That'd be really useful. Now, the other thing I'm going to have to do here is... Anybody got that part? Sorry? 4 over 147. Alright, alright. I need to find out what cos alpha is. Any suggestions on how I find out that? That's 13. That one is 3. So if I did Pythagoras' theorem, I'll get 13 squared plus 3 squared, which is 178. Square root 178 is still root 178. No better. Now here's hoping that root 178 disappears somewhere. I think it will. What's cos alpha then? What's cos alpha? 3 divided by root 178. Alright, now this is not going to be fun. So, I have an idea. I'm just going to turn them both upside down, because I don't want to deal with this in that form. So you're allowed to turn both fractions upside down on both sides. For argument's sake, 5 divided by 10 equals 1 over 2. It's the same thing as 10 over 5 equals 2 over 1. You're allowed to do that. Right, so just turn both sides upside down. Don't want to deal with things in the fraction area. Now, what do we do now? Can anybody give me 10 multiplied by this part here? All of this in the calculator for me. Huh? Alright, excellent. Now, the next part. Bring the 89, multiply by the 147, and bring the 45 and multiply by the 4. So we're going to get u squared equals 89 by 147, and 45 multiplied by 4. And then we can get u squared on its own. Any takers? $4,000 over square root top and bottom. That's our square root of. Oh yeah, I don't need it to be 13 over 4. Good for me. Alright, go on. what's u then? Yeah, did it go? Did you round that off? I don't round off. We'll just leave it like that for a minute. Okay. Now the reason why I'm going to leave it like that is, do you remember the answer to part 1? See this here? So I can just sub in u squared directly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is keep the faith. I don't think we've done anything wrong. So it's 2u squared sine alpha cos alpha all over g, isn't it? And g is 9.8. Now, I'm hoping this from out of nowhere just turns into the answer. Okay, so let's find out. 2 times 4,361 over 60. Sine alpha, which is, we run back up here. Which one's sine alpha? 13 over root 178. Alright, what's cos alpha? 3 over root 78. Divide all that by 9.8. Throw it all in, and hopefully it turns into 13 over 4. Does it turn into 13 over 4? Right. That's just it. You just gotta keep your patience and realize your system works. When I saw those numbers, you think you're wrong, but you just gotta follow your procedure to the end, and you'd be surprised.